Nicole Whitney, News for the Soul, life-changing talk radio from the uplifting to the unexplained. And it's a great honor to have you on the show tonight. Welcome, Deepak Chopra.
Thank you.
Yes, this is Uri.
Hi, Uri.
Welcome to News for the Soul's 20th anniversary broadcast series. News for the Soul, the longest running spiritual empowerment and exploration broadcast in North America, started its 21st year in January 2018, and we're just getting warmed up. It's time to take it to the next level, exploring the edge of human consciousness and possibility on planet Earth in our 21st year with founder and journalist Nicole Marie Whitney at the helm. What's really real and what's really possible? That is what we want to know. So if you're ready to find out together, get ready for life-changing talk radio from the uplifting to the unexplained. Platinum Edition. Here is News for the Soul.
Next on News for the Soul, it's time to illuminate your life with Krista Hurley. Krista is an intuitive healer working with theta, reconnection, crystal viewing, emotional freedom technique and more. Her goal is to facilitate healing and transformational changes in the lives of her clients, creating lives filled with love, abundance and joy. Welcome Krista back to News for the Soul.
Welcome back, Krista. How's it going?
Really well, Nicole. How you doing?
I'm well. Good to hear your voice. It feels like it's been a while. It's been a crazy, tumultuous, eventful, exciting time again.
Always.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got, it was interesting because I put out to Facebook just sort of some topic suggestions to people. And the one that really is up, I think, for me and I think for other people as well is the concept of forgiveness. Just the idea of, in those tumultuous kind of rocky times, sometimes our stuff can surface. And in that, there can be forgiveness of others or forgiveness of ourselves, which can really bring in an awareness to really shift out the bumpy road to some extent. So, would you like to chat a bit about that?
Yeah, let's get you to reintroduce your show first, and then let's go.
Sounds awesome. Okay, so my show is called Illuminate Your Life. And I called it that because I'm here, hopefully, to help people find the light within themselves and then to radiate the light that they are to the world and in their creation of their life. So I have sort of on my journey found some tools that help me to connect into my own light and to illuminate my own life more than I had been able to in the past. And the main tool that I love to use is theta healing. Which is a tool that connects into theta brainwave, which is the brainwave you're in when you're sleeping or sort of in a light dream-like state. And it just helps you connect into your subconscious mind and all those deep subconscious knowings that you have that you've kind of generally, our subconscious mind is here to help us. But sometimes the way it's trying to help us is actually limiting us. Those limiting programs or limiting beliefs that are keeping us safe, again, from the subconscious perspective or from our childhood perspective, once those shift into something bigger and greater and more freeing, everything can change. So theta healing is a tool where you can release a belief and that you can also bring in a new program. We call those downloads, where you're kind of reprogramming the software of your brain. And so we'll do a few downloads in this call. But then I also like to use other tools from different modalities like Access Consciousness or EFT or whatever else. So I just kind of use the guidance and the tools of my toolkit and just bring those to my clients and on the show as I'm guided to do so. So, basically I teach theta healing. I also teach Access Consciousness bars, and I'm just excited to be able to offer this to others to really help them connect and heal in whatever ways resonate for them. So, that's what I do. That's my show.
Why do you think forgiveness is coming up so strongly right now for people?
It just feels like right now there's a big shift happening in the world, and it is a bit turbulent. It feels as though it's not necessarily an easy shift that we're experiencing. So it feels like there's some old stuff that people have been shutting down, perhaps, they're not really willing to look at, and there's something astrologically or just energetically that's really forcing people to start to look at their stuff. We're here to grow and evolve and change. And as a society and as a collective consciousness, it's really important that we do that now or yesterday. So the more we can shift and grow together, the more I'm having trouble speaking today. The more the planet will shift and grow. So forgiveness is one of those energies that when you're holding grudges and when you're holding resentment and hurt feelings and you're blaming others and, you're judging others, there's really this low vibrational energy in there that really does kind of keep us stuck. We're sort of trapping ourselves. So I think right now, because we've got things bubbling to the surface, it's an opportunity for us to actually look at that. Let's look at that resentment of whomever it was from our past, or even that anger we have towards ourselves, or that regret that we made that decision, whether it's, needing to forgive others to let yourself be free or forgive yourself to let yourself be free. It's one of the biggest shifts we can make to step into a higher vibrational experience, to step into more ease and joy and abundance. And generally, it's connected to whatever's bubbling to the surface. The forgiveness is sort of the key to unlock it all. So a lot of times in sessions, we'll do some amazing healing work. We'll go look at the inner child. We'll do this, we'll do that. We'll bring in a higher perspective. And there's a really cool technique at the end which we're going to do on this call that I like to bring into my clients, where you actually speak to that person or speak to yourself energetically and just bring in forgiveness to set yourself free. So it really is about, letting yourself step into true alignment rather than this low vibrational stuck place. And a lot of times we don't even realize the effect that it's having on us to hold on to these resentments and angers and grudges, right? Have you found that, Nicole? Like when have you noticed ever, if you've just really truly forgiven, how you just shift out of something that you didn't even really know was holding you back until you step into that freer place?
Oh, absolutely. It moves all the energy that's blocking tons of stuff.
Totally. The analogy I heard actually from Abraham Hicks, which I thought really resonated, was it's like resentments and anger and all of these feelings, not being able to forgive. It's like holding down a cork, that's in water. So you're putting all this energy into like holding this cork underwater and submerging it and not letting it go. And like the harder you push against the cork, the harder the cork pushes back, and there's all this wasted, expended energy that really doesn't affect the cork anyhow, right? Like we often think we're punishing people for what they did to us by hating on them or resenting them or holding these grudges, but it's really just us that's prevented from being in our flow. Right? So once we let go of that cork, we can actually go with the flow again, be aligned, and allow things to be easy. So that analogy for me, I was like, yeah, that's a good one. It's like, let go of the resistance. And when you're not forgiving, there's this added resistance that's there. So, yeah.
So why is it such a challenge for people, do you think, knowing that?
What's that? Why is it? For me, what it comes down to, I feel as though a lot of times we believe that if we forgive them, then we're saying that your behavior is okay, right? So there's this misconception around forgiveness where if I say, okay, you did this to me in the past and I forgive you, well, then you win, or I'm saying that the behavior is okay, or then maybe you're going to control me again. Like there's all these deep subconscious whys. And for everyone, it can be a little bit individual, but those I think are some of the common ones. And the question I like to ask for people is, what is the positive? So maybe we'll do that for the audience, for our listeners for a sec. So why doesn't everyone just think of somebody that they're holding resentment towards or really can't let go? And then the question you can ask yourself for each person, because sometimes we'll have more than one, is what is the subconscious positive, or what are you getting out of holding on to this resentment or this grudge? Like, what will happen if you actually, what's the worst thing that could happen if you actually forgive this person? Like, I know I've had a client before who thought if they forgave their mother-in-law and actually opened up to them, they were afraid their mother-in-law would move in, and they didn't want that. So it wasn't so much about not being able to forgive, but about not having boundaries. But there was this deep subconscious thing that if I keep this grudge up, then there's no way she's going to want to move in with me. So not forgiving her is actually serving me. It's a really positive thing. It's keeping my boundaries, it's keeping my life, and keeping her out of my life, right? So that would be a subconscious positive. And for a lot of people, there will be unique, like every situation will have its own. But generally in some way we'll be keeping them out and not forgiving them fully because it's keeping us safe on some level. Or again, we think we're condoning the behavior. So we're saying, like, what you did to me, which was horrible from my point of view or from my judgment and isn't okay, I'm not ever going to allow you to think that it was okay. But that's not really what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is about, again, setting ourselves free. So it's allowing us, as we let go of all of this entrapment that we're keeping ourselves stuck in, we can choose instead to let go of these past experiences and these feelings and then step into our flow again, like that cork example, which, it could be, I'm not okay with what you did to me if there was an abuse situation or something, but I'm going to forgive the situation so that I can be free. I don't want to be trapped in this abuse, for the rest of my life. Whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so making it just about yourself.
Yes. And then a lot of times when it comes to yourself, there's always forgiveness. So if I've got a grudge towards somebody else, at the core, there's likely some forgiveness towards myself. I need to take that step as well, right? So I might be angry at my abuser from my childhood, but if I look at the piece for me, maybe there's some forgiveness I need to have for myself. So that's sort of even underneath the initial forgiveness of others is forgiveness of ourselves. It's really a deeper key to look at as well. Okay, so, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, where do we go next with that?
Okay, so what I'm thinking is I want to talk a little bit about forgiveness as a virtue. And then I was hoping to do a lot of interactive stuff. So whether there's somebody on the call or working with you, Nicole, but just give some examples of different ways we can bring in forgiveness and different activities where we can kind of let go of the past and be present now, and kind of go from there. So I'll just kind of jump in and talk a little bit about forgiveness as a virtue. So this is something Diana Steibel, she's the founder of Theta Healing, and she talks a lot about virtues in sort of her higher level classes. And the idea is that our souls are here to acquire or deepen there's some very specific virtues. So, one being forgiveness, obviously, one maybe being bravery or independence. There's a whole list. I have them on my website of specific virtues that she believes our soul is here to really, truly experience, and to experience more deeply. So patience, we all know patience is a virtue. So that's for sure one of the virtues I'm here to figure out. And so I can create a lot of experiences where I'm impatient, which I may have done as a child and earlier in my life. And now I'm shifting into, so kind of the vices, the opposite. And now I'm shifting into more patience by being patient. So I get to deepen my experience of the virtues of patience by being patient. And it's the same with forgiveness. You can start off with, total resentment, anger, blame, grudges, all of that judgment stuff. That's an experience of forgiveness by having the opposite experience. Or you can step into forgiveness now and practice it and even fake it till you make it. So Diana talks about how forgiveness is the one virtue you can fake till you make. So you literally say, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you, I forgive you. And it's one of those things, the more energy you put towards forgiveness, kind of like a slow leak, you're going to start to actually forgive that person sort of through intention or through awareness. So, and as we deepen our experiences of these virtues, our soul's evolving. So the idea is the more we have experiences that obtain different virtues, the more quickly and we can evolve. And then the more we choose to have experiences of virtues by being virtuous, the easier generally our experiences are. It's when we're like learning. So for me, deep unconditional love is also a virtue I've been experiencing. I was starting off with self-hatred. So a lot of us are experiencing self-hatred, and the goal is to shift into deeper love. So if we just start there, if we just be love and we have the experience of deepening love, it's a whole lot easier and a whole lot more fun than doing the vices. So that's sort of the one piece I wanted to talk about. It's kind of a neat concept, I thought. And Jesus, for me, is sort of the model, or Buddha, like some of these spiritual leaders. It's like they really embodied the virtues fully, you know. So as humans, we're here trying to do the same, or trying to do that on a different level. So it's like, how do I embody patience? How do I embody generosity? How do I embody, independence, or whatever the virtue is, bravery, in a bigger way, whatever sort of resonates for you at the time. And noticing what virtues you've received from an experience also helps to deepen the healing. So that's the other thing. If you can, at the end of, like, once we forgive somebody and we look at, okay, so what are the lessons and from these experiences, and what are those deep virtues? So, you know, maybe there was something about gratitude that came through, or optimism that came through. So it's looking at what those virtues are to help really deepen things and to help complete the healing. It really can shift you into a greater awareness, for sure. So yeah. Maybe what we'll do is look at one task I'd like everyone to do, not now, but after the fact. Maybe they can kind of look at it now. As a stepping point, it's really good if you can actually make a list of people that you'd like to forgive. So, and it can be anyone, or events you'd like to forgive. It can be, you know, your childhood teacher, that teacher in high school that you were mean to because they're mean to you, or, some kid that you bullied one time, or somebody that you bullied. So it's like the people that you want to forgive, and then the people that you feel you need forgiveness from. So there's kind of a double list. And then a third list would be all the ways you need to forgive yourself. So it's really powerful just to look first at who are these people that I'm holding resentment towards still, because resentment is heavy. It's such a heavy energy, and actually can carry weight, physical weight. So when people release resentment, they can release physical weight on the body. And the key, too, is to let go of the grudges, because if we release resentment and anger and hold on to a grudge, we can actually recreate the resentment. So we can do that with theta healing, is to let all of this go, and then obviously bringing in the forgiveness is a huge piece. And for me, the resentment and the anger and the grudges can shift when I start to truly see the bigger picture. So it's like when you start to connect in a little bit more to that divine why of an experience, or have that awareness of like, okay, that's what this was showing me. This was showing me justice. This was showing me kindness. This was showing me, you know, maybe some nobility, whatever those virtues are. Okay, I get it. Some peace, some playfulness, and I can bring those in for myself now. So for me, it really helps to really connect into that highest truth of the divine why experience to start to shift you more into forgiveness as well. And then just, you know, sometimes looking at what that person has to say. So we're actually going to energetically go in and connect and have a conversation with somebody that you need to forgive, and see what plays out in that conversation. So maybe we'll do that now. We can jump into a few different experiences and play around with that. I don't know, Nicole, is there anyone on the call that's active to participate, or?
Everyone is in listening mode.
Listening mode? Okay. Would you want to be my example, or do you want me just to do it as a general where people can kind of listen in and connect into whatever they're receiving?
More powerful because it'll be in the archives that way as well.
Okay, so to do more, sorry, say that again?
Like a group process, so it's easy, yeah.
Okay, let's do that. That works well. And then we can maybe just share a bit of our experiences if that works too. Okay, cool. So what we'll do is we'll connect in to the theta brainwave, and there's a very brief meditation that we like to do as theta healers that connects you into the earth energy, brings that through your body, and then connects you to this theta brainwave through going through the different planes of existence, which we don't need to get into, but it connects you into the seventh plane, which is the all it is of all it is of all it is energy, or that source energy, God, universe, whatever you call that highest creation energy, that's where we're going to connect into. And that's what we're going to use to facilitate healing. So literally just going to witness whatever it is coming in. And I feel like we should do a few downloads as we go through, and if you'd like to receive those, so I might say, would you like the highest perspective, understanding, and truth on forgiveness? So for everyone on the call, if you would like that, the highest truth, because your understanding of forgiveness might be different. We want the highest truth on what that is, and then we can bring that in, that it's possible for you to forgive, it's safe for you to forgive, and you know how to set yourself free with forgiveness now. And so the idea is that if you say yes out loud, it's like consciously you're accepting it and subconsciously you're accepting it, and we bring into every cell, opening up yourself to receive these new understandings and this new possibility for people. And so each download will literally change and create a spark of new possibilities in ways that weren't there before. If you don't know how to forgive, that was never something that you were taught, it didn't come through your DNA, you don't have that virtue in a deep way, then just the download can really open you up to that experience. So these are powerful. Okay, so let's kind of jump in. So I'm going to get everyone to start with connecting into the energy in their heart and just sort of get comfortable in your chair, taking a deep breath in. And just releasing anything heavy that you've been carrying in your heart. Just setting that intention as you breathe into your heart and release from your heart. You're just letting that heaviness go. So taking another deep breath in. And releasing it out. And one more time, just feeling this love activation as you're breathing in. And releasing anything heavy as you exhale. Okay, so let's send that loving heart energy all the way down through your body. Sending love to your body, so down into the base of your spine, down into your legs, and into your feet. You're going to send that energy all the way down through each layer of the earth, sending the earth your love, gratitude, and appreciation, and then all the way down through to the center of the earth. And as you get to the center of the earth, you're going to scoop up, take a big, amazing scoop of this nurturing, loving Mother Earth energy. Really feeling connected to the Mother. So this is the Divine Mother or the All That Is Mother. So I want you to connect into that energy, knowing how supported and loved you are. And let's just bring in this understanding of true mother love. So bring up that earth energy up through the earth and then up into your feet, feeling loved and nurtured, cared for, as you bring it all the way up to your legs, up into the base of your spine, and allowing this beautiful earth energy to open every chakra as you continue up through your body, noticing and feeling your chakras spinning and aligning as this energy comes up through. heading up into the top of your head. And then you'll notice a beautiful ball of energy forming above your head. And it'll get you to send that energy, your energy, into this ball of light, and we're going to use it as a spaceship to propel us up into this all that is energy. And again, you can go outward to connect to it, but you can also go inward. We are the all that is energy. Our soul is comprised of this amazing energy. So heading into that ball of light, and then heading up into the sky, so pushing up past all of the stars, continuing onward and upward past each and every planet, continuing onward and outward till you reach the edge of the universe. And as you do, you're going to push up into the first layer, which is the fourth plane. So this is where you're going to connect into the beautiful energy. So it's sort of a bright light. You'll notice all these beautiful bright lights, all the ancestors, the spirits. You're just going to push past all these beautiful bright lights. And you're going to connect into the next level, which is the golden light. You're going to push past through each speck of golden light as you continue onward and upward. And this is the plane, the fifth plane. It's where, the spiritual masters reside. And continuing onward into the next plane, you'll see these beautiful colors and beautiful shapes. And this is the sixth plane of existence where all the laws of magnetism, laws of attraction, they're all in the sixth plane. And as you continue to push onward and upward, you'll see a doorway to the energy of all that is. So this is the seventh plane. Again, this all that is of all that is energy, source energy. And just notice this beautiful tingly light as you push yourself deep into that layer. So I want you to continue to push yourself deeper and deeper, so higher and higher and higher into the source energy, totally allowing yourself to submerge into it, into this place of being home, essentially. And let's just give you the highest perspective, understanding, and truth on home, and show you how to feel home within yourself and home within this all that is energy, and to know that that is home, and that you can feel home in your human physical experience and in your human body, and you already are and already do. So again, that's a download if you'd like it. Say yes. If something didn't resonate for you, then don't. And let's also just give everyone the highest perspective, understanding, and truth on love and on self-love and on unconditional love, and creating experiences without conditions in this experience, so that you can forgive without the person having to change. You can have unconditional forgiveness forgiving without any conditions, without anything having to happen, that forgiveness can come through. So let's bring out everyone the highest perspective, understanding, and truth on forgiveness as well, showing you that you know how to forgive, what it feels like to forgive, that forgiveness can be unconditional for you, that you can forgive more deeply than you ever had before, and that you can embody that virtue of forgiveness and of being forgiveness more than you ever have before, and that's safe and possible, and you're able to do so now. And with that, can we show everyone how to live without grudges, and how to live without resentment, how to live without anger, how to live without blaming others, how to live without finding faults and judging yourself or others, and that it's possible to live in this all that is space. So where you're connected now, you can live your daily life from that place. And in this place, it's love. It's pure love. There's no judgment here. There's none of that. It's just unconditional acceptance, unconditional love, pure joy, pure abundance, pure peace, and all that you desire. So can we just bring in that understanding of how to live from this all that is space, and how to spend more and more of your life from this place, more than ever before, and that you can deepen that every day, and that it's safe and possible for you, and you're able to do so now. Because when we live in this all that is energy, there's almost a divine why that pops in, or an awareness that pops in our experiences, and when you can stay there, you step out of drama and trauma. There's no drama and trauma in this, all that this energy, as you can feel. It's like pure bliss. So can we also show you how to live without drama and trauma, and that you can have human experiences without that, and that you can be connected to people without that. And that's safe and possible for you, and you're able to do so now. Okay, so what I'm hearing to do first, it's kind of a cool activity for everyone. We're actually going to connect into a time and place where we have embodied pure forgiveness, total divine forgiveness fully. So the idea is you can jump into another timeline of you. So, you know, some people will call them future lifetimes or past lifetimes, or I like to say parallel lifetimes or timelines, because everything's really happening in the now. But we can actually jump in and connect into a time and place where we had all that we desire, and then bring those ancient gifts and wisdoms and knowings and feelings into every cell in our body now. It's a super cool gift. And it's in Theta Healing, it's a tool called crystal visioning. It's a really neat activity that we can do with like a crystal grid. I know there's different quantum jumping, there's different names for it and different tweaks on it, but it's a tool that we're going to play with. So let's start with that. So we're going to bring in this ability to forgive deeper than we've ever been able to do, and then we're actually going to go in and forgive in a different activity. So I'm actually hearing, can we give you the highest perspective, understanding, and truth too on how to live in the now moment and how to recognize the now moment, and that every moment is a now moment, and how to live without, you know, being angry about the past or stuck in the past, or bringing up the past into the now, and how to live without worrying or fearing or, you know, stressing out about the future, that you can be in this now moment, and that that's safe and that that's possible, and we're able to do so now. Okay, so the first activity I'm hearing, actually, before we even jump into this other one, I want you to visualize all of the things from the past. So all of your past experiences, I want you to visualize them in almost like a file folder, filing up behind you. So a lot of times we'll bring the past into our now, especially like with arguments with our partners or with our family. It's like, oh, but you did this 10 years ago, and I can't forgive you for that, and so it's affecting how I feel about you now. I've still got this grudge, and, you know, you saying that has triggered all of this coming up. So the first activity I want to do is just really look at, energetically visualize the file folders of the past being behind you. And then I want you to feel yourself in the now, and then visualize all the things from the future being ahead of you. So a lot of times we've jumbled up past, present, and future. So I want you just to visualize that for your human self in this human timeline. Just visualize your past and present and future clearing up. So it's not jumbled. You're not bringing your past into your present. And just show you how to do that it's easy, it's effortless, and you're doing so now. So it's key to really visualize, because the visualization brings the shift into your reality. There's some quantum physics around the observer, and when there's an observer present, the reality changes. So just bringing that in through visualization or through knowing, however you psychically or intuitively connect into that, just bringing that in. Okay. How was that for you, Nicole? Could you feel the past shifting into the past, or did you visualize that one okay?
I visualized it. I didn't feel like I was getting into a theta space, though.
Okay. So it feels okay with that one, but let's just deepen that in. For anyone who wasn't necessarily feeling super connected, let's just deepen your connection. So one nice way is just to continue to ask that you go deeper and deeper into that all that is energy. So why don't we try that one more time? So you're in this tingly white light. Go deeper into that tingly white light. And then we'll just ask that everyone visualize it one more time, fully infused by this all that is energy. and just see if that shifts it at all. Okay, so maybe give that one more try, and we'll see if everyone else can do the same. To me, it just feels like it's going to feel a little lighter.
Okay.
Does that feel any different for you?
I could feel it a little more that time.
Okay, cool. So that might be something, it feels like this could be an activity some people might revisit, especially after the forgiveness activity. Like it might be something that we need to do now as the seed setter, and then maybe at the end we'll do it again to just see if we can really let go of some of those things and let them be in the past. Okay, perfect. So let's bring in the next activity we're going to try now. So again, just asking that everyone heads back up deep into that theta healing brainwave. So you're going to feel yourself going deeper and deeper and deeper into that tingly white light. That energy is all that is. Fully submersing yourself with this unconditional light, fully connecting into the all that is energy that you are. And then this time I want you to visualize yourself in a car. So visualize your dream car. And we're just going to sort of play around with the visualization for a sec. So you're just going to notice yourself opening the door, sort of feel into what the door feels like, and then step into the car, sit down, put on the seatbelt, feel into, notice like all the senses, the smell of your vehicle, put your hands on the wheel. Mine's a red convertible. Turn on the music, notice what song's playing, what do you hear, what are you experiencing? Are the birds singing, sun shining? Okay, and then we're just going to drive down the road. So notice your scenery, notice everything around you. I'm sort of on a cliffside. I've got this beautiful ocean beside me. There's a mountain on the other side. And you're just going to sort of curve ahead and see this beautiful big screen ahead of you. And this beautiful big screen is sort of going to propel us to another time and place where we totally have embodied forgiveness. We've got it. So I want you to notice there's sort of some shapes moving on the screen ahead in this time and place, and I want you to feel into the one that feels most significant for you. And then we're going to jump through that shape. So when you're ready, we're going to just sort of make the command, all that is energy. It's commanded that as I jump through the shape, I'm going to really, truly connect into me, an alternative me, or a timeline of me, a future self or an ancestor even that has really embodied the virtue of forgiveness fully and completely. Thank you. It is done. So connecting into that shape, and we're just literally going to jump through the screen into this other time and place. And as you do so, just take a minute. And for everyone, they'll be in a different time and place, but I want you just to sort of feel into and visualize where you are and what's going on. And as you do, I want you to really swoosh into and feel into how you feel in this time and place. So I'll just give everyone a minute, and I'll do the same so I can just kind of connect in here. Just notice your surroundings. Feel into how you feel, what's going on. And for me, I'm just hearing the share, so I'm tuning into me being a really little girl. Like I feel like I'm about a 7 or 8 year old. Feels old, like it's maybe from about 100 years ago. And I just feel like as I swoosh through myself, I feel like I totally embody forgiveness. There's no judgment there. There's no blame. It's just pure flow. It's really cool. So just feel into that for you. Feel into this person that embodies forgiveness. What does that look like? If you want, you can even sort of connect in and have a conversation with that person. Ask them some questions, like whatever sort of feels necessary, like how do you forgive, or whatever it is. If you need to ask questions, or it might just be the feeling. So just give everyone a minute or two to kind of play around with whoever came forward for them in a way that you're feeling guided. And there's this cool thing that can happen. It's actually called a DNA transfer. So anytime we put our skin onto another being, we can read their DNA or connect into their DNA. And what I'm seeing for my person is we're just holding hands. And so literally she's sending me a DNA transfer of all that she knows about forgiveness and sending that into my cells. So if you would do the same, if you feel comfortable, and if you feel guided to do so, but I'm hearing to ask everyone to do that on the call in the highest and best way. So just ask for that DNA transfer of anything that's in your highest and best around forgiveness or any of the virtues that this awesome being has obtained in this time and place. Any ancient gifts or wisdoms or knowings that would be in your highest and best to receive now. We'll just ask that those come in for you as well. So bring those in and deepen those into every cell in your body and being, and open your cells and receptor sites within your cells to deepen these awarenesses. And show you that it's safe, it's possible, and you're able to do so now. Okay, and I'll just give you a moment or two to have any last words with that person, see if there's any other guidance that they have or any other gifts that they have for you. And mine is actually handing me a gift, and I opened it, and it's a heart, and she's just saying, be love. So I'm going to receive that as well more deeply than ever before, and we'll just show everyone on the call as well how to be love and how to be love in a way that that is of the highest, purest truth, and that it's safe and possible and able for you to do so now. If you'd like that, just say yes. Cool. Okay, so let's just thank ourselves or our ancestors, whomever we've tapped into from this time and place, for all of their wisdom and their guidance, for all of the shifts and changes that they've provided for us. And then when you're ready, we're just going to jump back out through that shape, and you'll see the screen ahead of you again. So any ways we need to just sort of tie up that time and place and make it disconnected in that, like, you know that's that time and place and this is this time and place. So we're back to, as we step out, we're back to May 15th. At 1:45 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to head back out and connect into that screen and just show you who you are with all of those changes in the here and the now. And then you can even just get back into your car if you want and continue driving off into the distance, just feeling how free you feel now. And let's just bring that in, the highest perspective, understanding and truth of freedom, and how to feel free and how to be in your life in total freedom, and that's safe and possible, and you're able to do so now. How does that feel, Nicole? Were you able to follow the visualization? Did that go okay?
That one was better. I'm definitely going to earmark this to go in when I'm not, in multitasking mode, so I can really go deeper.
Totally. Yeah, it's best when you can carve out that time to just go in, and it wouldn't be a bad thing. You could do the exact same recording for a different virtue if you wanted. Like for me, for patience, I could go in and connect in, or even, I use this as a tool to attract in my life partner. Like, show me a time and place where I was totally in love and I was totally in trust that that person would stay, or whatever the fears might be, right? So it's a cool tool and technique to play around with for sure. So yeah, does that feel any different? Does it feel like there was a shift there for you?
Yeah, yes, definitely.
Okay, amazing. Awesome.
Anyone who's there.
Perfect. So it feels as though now that we all have a deeper experience with forgiveness, we'll actually be able to forgive ourselves and others in a different way. So let's do the next step, where I'm going to get everyone on the call to think of either themselves or someone else that they need to forgive. So this is a cool visualization where energetically, we're actually going to bring that person in. So you're going to visualize them just like we did in that last one, but energetically bring them in front of us. And it can be somebody that's passed away as well. It doesn't have to be somebody here in the physical form currently. But basically with this activities, you share with them all that you want them to know. You don't necessarily need to say it in person. Sometimes that's not in the highest and best. Sometimes it is. But we're going to share with that person all that you want them to know, all the ways they hurt you, all the ways, or vice versa. If it's all the ways that you want their forgiveness, all the ways you're sorry, all the ways you wish you did things differently, right? But you're just going to share how you feel and then see how they react. So, they might walk away. They might hug you. They might have something to say back. But the interaction is generally very healing. If people stay and they don't go anywhere, it generally means that there's something that the two of you haven't finished yet. So you can forgive them and you can release them, but it's like there's an experience or a virtue or a lesson you haven't completed yet if they stay. Otherwise, generally there's a hug or, they'll walk away or something. And to, this is a theta healing activity, and sometimes people actually turn to ash. And if they do, it means generally they've, you're forgiven, but they're still just in a place of not forgiveness, right? So they don't need to, have true enlightenment around the situation for you to forgive them. They could be stuck in their shit, and you can still forgive them and set yourself free, and it really doesn't matter how they are, if that makes sense. You're still releasing your own cork so that you can flow. Okay? So I want everyone, again, to just, swim back up into that awesome tingly white energy, head back deep into that all that is of all that is energy. We'll just bring in an instant physical healing for everyone, so showering you with unconditional light and love. Okay? And then I want you to visualize somebody that you'd like to forgive. Somebody that you felt anger towards, hurt feelings towards, blame, grudges. So your partner, your parents, your siblings, an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, a boss, could be anyone, business even, children. So just bring somebody forward. And from this connected space, I want you to share with them energetically your feelings. So speak your truth. Let them know how you feel. And that'll be the first step. So we'll get you to do that first. I'll give you a minute. Okay. And as you finish up saying what you need to say, just see if that person has anything to say back. Knowing that this is their energy self. So this isn't them as a human. Feel into how they would feel really, truly connected. So there might be some higher understandings or awarenesses or truths that come in if they're there. So just see if they have anything to say back, or if there's a communication, or if you have more to say, share more as well. Okay. And the key words with this one is, when you're ready, you're going to say, I forgive you and I release you. So I release you from this hold, this energy, the resentment, the anger, the grudge, the hurt, all of that. I'm releasing all of those lower vibrational experiences that have been holding me back now, so that you can step into a higher vibration, step into alignment, have more joy and more possibilities. Okay, so I forgive you and I release you when you're ready. And then again, just see what they do. So my person is giving me a hug, but then also staying there. So We still have some unfinished lessons or experiences together, but that feels okay. And then now we're actually holding hands and skipping forward into the future, which is kind of cool. And Nicole, how did that end for you? How did the person stay? Did they leave? Did you guys hug it out?
When it came down to listening to them, I felt like I was just projecting, so I didn't get anything there. And then they kind of faded. But I don't think I was saying release, but I don't think I released.
Okay. So what's the positive you're getting out of holding on to this anger? What's the subconscious positive or the resentment? What could you possibly be getting out of?
That without that connection, there'd be no connection at all.
Ah, okay. So can we pull that fear? Can we pull the fear that and pull the belief that that's connection? So pull the fear that without this, then you won't be connected. And can we give you the highest truth on the relationship you have with this person? And can we show you that the two of you, if it's in the highest and best, can continue to co-create a relationship together? But in releasing them, you're literally just releasing this low vibe yuckies, and it's actually setting your relationship free to choose to be something without shackles or bonds or ties to the past. Do you know what I mean?
That helps,
it's setting you free to connect into something totally different than what you've had up until now. So can we show you how to do that and that that's possible and that together you can create that?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. Cool. We'll show that for anyone else that might have had the same thing. But that's a really good question to ask. So if you weren't able to work through a step, well, what is the positive that I was getting? What was I getting out of holding on to the old stuff from the past? Because there's always a subconscious why. And that's a perfect example of what that is. Cool. Okay. So if you visualize really quickly now that we've shifted that kind of bond holding you into that, can you bring in forgiveness and release the person?
Yes.
Awesome. And what happens then?
Yeah, I'm feeling like a hug.
Yay. Beautiful. So can we bring that energy into every cell in your body and being and that feeling of true connection?
Absolutely.
Yay. And do that for anyone else as well. Awesome. So let's just bring in all these changes for everyone on the call through all times and spaces, through all bodies, and through all lifetimes, and show them that they know who they are. Since we did some cool forward and backwards, and we did lots of interesting things today, so just show you that you know who you are with these amazing changes and how to be in forgiveness and how to live your daily life moving forward with forgiveness. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. How does that feel?
It feels good.
Good.
Lighter.
Amazing. Perfect. Yeah, and if people have questions about any of those kind of activities, they can obviously feel free to message me, or if you felt like you got stuck somewhere or something, I can always message back if needed. And then otherwise, since I just need to wrap up here because we're getting close to the top of the hour. I am teaching Theta Healing here in Stratford in July. So if you're interested in learning how to do some of these tools and techniques for yourself and changing your own beliefs, you can join me in Stratford on July 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th. I'm doing the basic and advanced back-to-back. So you get so many amazing tools and healings right in that 1 week. And then I'm also teaching in London, Ontario in September for anyone that's fairly local. So, and then if you're interested in the session, obviously you can connect in with me at KristaHurley.com. I'd love to hear if people have experiences around how that changed for them, how they were able to forgive and how it shifted their life. I'd love to hear about that too.
Cool. Well, we had a lot of people on the switchboard participating and doing the exercise, so that was a good
so fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's a big area, and I think it's a huge thing to be doing right now is clearing all that low energy, crap. I think that's why so many things are happening in our world right now. Is we're doing that collectively as well. So that was perfect. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Nicole. I appreciate it. Lots of fun. Thanks to all our listeners as well.
We'll look forward to speaking to you next month.
Okay, sounds good. Have a good one. We'll talk soon.
Krista Hurley, all linked up at newsforthesoul.com.
With smart Wi-Fi from Shaw Business, you get superior Wi-Fi coverage.
This is Nicole Whitney, News for the Soul, life-changing talk radio from the uplifting to the unexplained. And it's a great honor to have you on the show tonight. Welcome, Deepak Chopra.
Thank you.
Yes, this is Uri.
Hi, Uri. It's Nicole Whitney calling News for the Soul. Welcome to News for the Soul, Robert Allen.
Thank you, Nicole. It's great to be here with you tonight.
Why are you here? We're talking to Carolyn Mace about Sacred Contracts, one of her many best-selling books. Welcome to the show, Greg Braden.
Well, good evening, Nicole. It's certainly a pleasure to hear your voice and a pleasure to be here tonight.
Welcome to the show, Stuart Wilde.
Thank you very much.
John Kehoe, welcome to News for the Soul.
Hey, how are you?
Next up, Dr. David Morehouse.
I'm so glad that you called me because you are doing such an important task, important work, because you are spreading a very positive message.
I was really moved by last week's show because we made a commitment to a worldwide event to try to change consciousness.
I'm feeling enormous energy around this show, just enormous. I really have to hand it to you, Nicole. You've created sort of a niche of amazing connections. It's just like the angels and the devatas that are like attracted to News for the Soul is amazing.
And we love News for the Soul.
Based in Sweden, Thomas has been a highly acclaimed Swedish singer-songwriter for 30 years.